Welcome to Heartspeak Podcast, Mirrors of Reality. Well, hello there, wherever you're on the world. It's good to be back with you. And yes, this year continues to offer us new insights into ourselves and the world. Now, this is being heightened by the new moon in Scorpio, 19th to 20th of November. Conjunct Mercury. Mercury is about information, communication, travel. So we are expecting to see more information being brought out onto the surface. Scorpio is always pushing things to the surface. And because that new moon is opposite Uranus, the planet of unexpected revolutionary ideas, things may come to the surface that may blow our mind, that are completely outside the range of what we may have believed in the past. And because it's Scorpio, Scorpio always deals with those things which are hidden, the occult, the death. And so we may well see unexpected information about events that I would always consider the darker side of human natures: abuse, trafficking, sexual abuse, financial corruption, any type of corruption. So be aware that this is particularly true over these next 10 days, 14 days. But it's also revealing things to us that we may not have always understood, because Saturn is going retrograde in Pisces until the end of November. So Saturn is about what limits me, where have I held myself back? So you may well find that there are also old beliefs coming to the surface that you didn't, you thought were in the past, and you're like, wow, that's come up again. And it's coming up again to be healed. And I certainly have seen that recently. Old patterns of belief that would say, stay small, or don't consider yourself okay, or you don't deserve, whatever it is that you say to yourself. They may be coming through with an intensity. You're like, whoa, that kept me awake at night. But it's really saying, deal with this now. Where are we all hiding with our fingers in our ears or hands over our eyes and saying, I don't want to see it? Because while we stay small and in a box, our soul cannot thrive. We cannot fulfill our destiny. So where is that ego mind, that small mind, needing now to be allowed to release this beautiful new energy that is coming through all of us at this time of this new moon? This is a profound and intense time where you may find that your intuition is really heightened. You may get new insights that are coming from deep within your soul. And that's particularly true because this new moon is also in a grand trine with Jupiter in Cancer, which is saying, come home to yourself, expand yourself. And also with the Saturn Neptune in Pisces. So there's so much beautiful energy about becoming more psychically aware, becoming more aware of the environment you live in. And at that point, I can say, I'm really happy to say that my new book called The Magic of Mother Nature is about to be launched and is in the production phase. So you will receive notification when it is ready for purchase. And I will be holding seminars in the new year around this subject of how do we telepathically communicate more with our environment, with nature, with the inner earth beings, with our star family. So watch out for these notifications. I'm excited because to me, this time where this grand trine in water is really about breaking down the separation between ourselves and the world around us. And that is really going to be our future. It's like, how did we ever become separate? How did we ever think that we were this little human just having a human experience, when my whole existence is as a spiritual being who has chosen to have an earthly experience at this time, but is not limited by that earthly experience? There more will come about that in the future. But this expansion of consciousness that is happening is being helped by this three-eye atlas, the third interstellar object that goes through our solar system, and its relationship to all the planets in our solar system and to the sun. So if you've been following along with my Facebook, and now I have an X account, which is Christine R. Page, do go there to see what I write there. But as Three-Eye Atlas has, first of all, gone past Mars around the beginning of October, and then gone behind the sun at the end of October, you may know that it's as if this Three-Eye Atlas, this energy, has been interacting with the sun. And because I do not think that this is a ET or, let's say, UFO that's got beings on it, my intuition tells me that this is a plasma collection of high intelligence that has come from possibly outside our galaxy. And this is both receiving information from here on Earth, but also sending information. So it's a transmitter and a receiver at the same time. And what it's doing is transmitting these high frequency waves of information that, even though a small part of us wants to keep our fingers in our ears, our soul is hearing. And because our soul is constantly connected to these high frequencies, but sometimes we've got our fingers in their ears, this intensity of energy that is highlighted and accelerated by its relationship to the sun is meaning we have to hear. And this may come to you through, or have been coming to you through, vivid dreams, meditations, increased intuitive insights, but it also may have been felt through headaches, feeling out of balance, palpitations. It's almost as if your whole body, or our whole body, is being upgraded to be able to receive these higher frequencies. Now, it's not a permanent problem. It's literally, one may say, whatever held us in place to say, this is my reality and this is how it will always stay, is now saying, no, 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 no. That was only a reality that was sufficient until now. Your soul is saying, I want to know much more about my own existence so that I can fulfill my destiny. So don't be scared. Stay in your heart. Come back to your heart always. Breathe in and out of your heart and allow your heart energy to expand as a bubble around you. And when you're doing that, you will always connect to the highest truth that is within you. Now, what we saw with Three-Eye Atlas and the sun interacting was from around that October 29th, we had those big storms on the other side of the sun. And then from about the 5th of November until now, and possibly later, we've had all these disturbances. Now, Three-Eye Atlas will come closest to the Earth on the 19th of December. So who knows what will happen there. But I'm excited that it's almost as if the lights are coming on in our darkened library of our DNA. So let me just explain a little bit about that. 90% or 91% of our DNA was seen as junk DNA. But that junk DNA contains information that was seeded in us millions of years ago by different star groups. As Three-Eye Atlas comes around and accelerated by the sun's energy, that light is pouring in to that library. And so our own DNA within every cell of our body is being stimulated and activated to wake up. And most of that DNA is actually within our mitochondria. The mitochondria are small organelles, small objects within our cell, where we get our energy and our inspiration, everything that fires us up, and our passion. So Three-Eye Atlas has really been influencing that type of DNA to say, find your passion, wake up, remember who you are, be excited. And I hope that's what you're feeling. It may be that you're still moving on from some old ideas that have kept you small. But what I want to say is that I believe that as our DNA wakes up to the fact that it has different energies from our star family, from different galaxies, we are becoming more aware that we're not these little characters called humans that, have nothing within them. We are these mighty beings, and that we chose an earth life, just as other beings did on this planet, to have an experience of what it means to be a creative human being. I hope that excites you. So what I'm saying here is, at this time, and very interestingly, around this time, maybe for the next 2 or 3 months before everything starts to turn, be aware of your dreams and your insights and your intuition, and recognize that there's a lot of information coming into us, but it's really important that you maintain discernment. And you've heard me say this before. Because as the veils are dissolving between this world and the other worlds, as we're getting in tune with so much more, there are also going to be information, let's just call it information, coming from groups that really do not necessarily have your best interests at heart. Now, they're not necessarily just going to hold you, but they tap into old beliefs you have already. So I'm just saying is they will mirror what you already believe. So for instance, with 3i Atlas, I've watched as people say, oh, it must have negative energy in it, it's coming to attack us. No, that's what you believe. Oh, it must have reptilians in it. No, that's what you believe. I mean, it's your truth, but I want you to understand these mirrors of reality is your truth is not necessarily my truth. And just because you believe that, it doesn't mean it's not real, but it's not what I see in my mirror. Does that make sense? And so each of us will project onto the world around us that which we believe. And when we just have the courage to change our beliefs or step to one side and look into the mirror at a slightly different angle, our whole belief system will change, as does our reality. And this is really one of the premises of my new book, which is every time I meet someone, I project onto them what I already believe about them. So I'm not actually seeing them or relating to them. I'm relating to the mirror of my holographic belief about you. And that's why in a family, we can all have different points of view about someone or an event. Isn't that true? My family may see things totally different. They go, that didn't happen. I'll go, no, it did. And we only see what it is that we believe because that is who we are. It's not the world out there that creates us. We create our reality and we see it mirrored back to us so that we can then say, aha, I told you so. But take one step to the side and you will see things totally different. And I remember an episode of that when I went to the Chicago Museum of Holograms. I've always been fascinated by holograms. There was this tiny picture, relatively small, I'll say, picture of a girl. It was a hologram. But I just took one step to the side and all of a sudden that image became an old woman. And then I took a step to the other side and she became a mother figure. It all depends on the angle of our beliefs, what we see in the mirror. And what this opportunity, this 3i Atlas, this new moon is doing is offering us the chance to see things at a different angle. It's not scary. It may be scary because it's not what we expect. But know that your soul can only reveal to you what is already within you. But there is the opportunity as we clear, let's say, the ego mind's beliefs and the fear that we hold, that sometimes we don't listen to our soul. So that's why I'm encouraging you to go into your heart and say, is this true? Yes, it's a belief that someone else may have. Maybe it's an old belief I carried. But once I come from my heart, I only have that energy of compassion and love. Everything is true. Everything is a part of me, or everything is a reflection of me if I want to give it power. So as we step into a time where there's going to be more AI and more different ways of seeing things, be very mindful that what you're seeing, you can take it, you can attach to, or you cannot. That's what discernment's about. Recently, I was in an airport waiting for my plane, and there, flashing before me on some stand they had there, was, could you tell the difference between this image of a person and this image? Which was AI, which was not? And what they were, this was an AI company who were putting this conversation forward, or they were trying to promote AI. I realized that, yes, the images were very similar, but all I had to do was tap into my heart and feel into the image that related to my heart, that resonated with my heart. I was absolutely accurate on every one of them, which was AI, which was not. And I want you to understand that that's what we need to do. Again, it doesn't have to be AI. It may be what you already know. I hope this is making sense. You may meet someone, and when you tap into your heart, there's a sense of, yeah, we don't have a resonance. It's not good or bad. It's just, I don't have a resonance here. So I'm asking and suggesting that you encourage yourself to really feel in, is there a resonance with my soul to this person, this situation? If there isn't, detach, say, God bless you, whatever you want to do, but it's not part of my cycle. So Scorpio, this new moon in Scorpio, right at the end of Scorpio, before we go into Sagittarius, is really asking us to listen deeply within. And one of the challenges, and I'll say this finally, is that Scorpio does have a tendency that when things are not working, when that feeling of resonance is not there, there is a tendency for it to say, it must be my fault, I need to try harder. So I'm just speaking to any of you who have Scorpio energy in your chart. Step back. When it doesn't resonate anymore, let it go. It's dead. That relationship, that situation is dead. Back off. Breathe out. Thank it for coming into your life and say, wish you well. Because it no longer is resonating with your soul or lifting you up to a higher level or fulfilling your destiny, whichever you want to say. So I think I want to leave that in that space. I want you to understand we are in a very exciting time. And it's not just us that are feeling this. The whole of the astronomical societies, NASA, etc., are all recognizing that what's going on because of 3i Atlas, and it will be, as I say, moving through our solar system for a little while now, but particularly around the solstice, 19th of December, it will be closest to the Earth. It is bringing higher intelligence. But what it's also doing is breaking us down or breaking us away from limited beliefs. If you feel fear, go there, find it. What's going on here? But listen to your heart most importantly. And I think we are going to see amazing revelations coming out from the government or from these organizations that are now observing and watching what's going on in the sky. And especially about disclosure of ETs, disclosure. Recognize that they do not need to come in a little vessel with flashing lights. We are surrounded on higher frequencies with higher dimensional beings already. They're living amongst us. And I will be talking about that more, about how do we relate to our own universal family, our own multidimensional family. And I'll be doing those in the seminars that I'm going to be offering. So I think I'm going to leave you on that, just to say there will be a seminar at the end of December, which you will be notified about what's going on in 2026. So maybe you'll join me then. But until then, enjoy this new moon, set new intentions, let yourself say, close all the doors not in harmony with my soul, clear the energy so I can fulfill my destiny and enjoy and be excited by the future. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the HeartSpeak podcast with Dr. Christine Page. Please check out all HeartSpeak episodes in the podcast archive section on www.christinepage.com. HeartSpeak is also available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Tumblr, and now playing on Amazon Music and iHeartRadio. You can also watch the archive podcast on Christine's channel, on YouTube, and now on Rumble. Connect with Christine on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook group, The Great Mother Calling. Do share with family, friends, colleagues. Join us next time for another edition of HeartSpeak.